I'm Abon.
I'm Sonia.
And I'm Kate.
And today we're dishing with you from the Renaissance Hotel in DuPont Circle, located at 1143 New Hampshire Avenue. And we're here because it's Pear Month. You knew that, right? Well, we're doing a lot of pear things here at the Renaissance, including the pear bacon sliders with, there was some sort of ketchup thing?
It's a
Au
bacon
jus.
and blue cheese slider, and then it has an au jus pear
Au jus,
ketchup,
that's it.
which I've never heard of before. But
I think they should just call it yummy.
Yummy.
The yummy pear
It's just
food.
yummy. And we are with someone who does, well, I wouldn't call them yummy interiors, but I would call them equally scrumptious to look at, I guess. Christopher Boutlier is an interior designer in town that has become very well known, not only for doing some political houses, but also some royalty.
Yeah, and yes, so I've had several high-profile projects, which unfortunately I can't really
You can't talk about them. We knew that would happen. It's okay.
No, I know.
But okay, I do want to talk a little bit about trends. And if you can't tell us specifically what you've done
Tell
for
us what you
royalty.
did in these famous people's houses.
Yeah, tell
Because
us
there
the
got to be
trends.
the trends, right?
Well, and I think that one of the biggest trends right now is actually cocktail parties in people's houses. I think that Washington is known historically for being, the cocktail party where you have the writer with the politician and the heiress. And I actually think that that's really coming back, I think in a large part because of the Obamas and, the parties that they've been having at their house. So that's one of the big things that I've been doing.
So are we talking about a lot of color? Are we talking about bringing back Art Deco? How would people go about designing their home to have cocktail parties or other parties or whatnot if they're just starting out?
Well, I think it's having those formal spaces again. I think the formal dining room. I think the bar. The bar is making a huge comeback. And then also things like fine china, linens, cocktail, napkins. I mean, honestly, cocktail picks, silver picks. All of that stuff is making a huge comeback.
So see, I do an annual party every year that I just had that was...
That I've not been invited to.
Everybody is invited. If you know me, you're invited.
I get lost
But-
every time I try to go there.
Whole different show.
FYI.
Anyway, it started as like a total frat party because I started when I was in my 20s, and now I've sort of progressed. So how do you progress when you take a party, your birthday party that you throw every year, when you were in your 20s to now when you're in your 30s and you're ready to be a little bit more serious, but still have a good time? How do you bridge that gap?
Well, I mean, I think a lot of it has to do with just the type of people that you're inviting. I think that at least
That's why you didn't get invited.
Yeah, thanks.
Not a trendsetter, I'm sorry.
We got him giggling.
Sorry. No, I think that you have a more edited guest list. I think that because you expect people to sit and to talk, as opposed to just sort of stand or, slunch over things. You have a smaller list, and so I think that makes it more smaller,
manageable.
more intimate, more manageable.
So going towards, your focus with interior design, switching gears.
No, it's great.
Great segue.
Yeah.
So, but going back to your ideas for interior design, how is it working with your clients? I mean, especially if they're royalty or political, and they probably are very steadfast in what they'd like. How do you work with them in order to kind of push them in a way and mold them to where you guys are both happy?
Well, I mean, I think those projects are sort of outliers. I mean, but although I would say everyone's that way. It doesn't matter if you're royalty or just Joe Schmo.
So you're saying that everyone is very opinionated, or that
Yes.
everyone? Yeah, okay. Everyone's very opinionated.
Yes, very
I believe
opinionated. And I mean, I would say that 90% of my job actually is sort of fielding the arguments between like husbands and wives, and he wants something more contemporary, she wants more traditional, and finding that balance. And I think it's the true, it's the same thing everywhere.
I asked you that because when I do clothes for people, especially like for a man, his wife will come in and say, I don't know about this, and he's like, well, I don't know what to, I don't. So I'm in the middle of fielding, actually telling him why it's good, why it's bad, and what I actually think, and so I can understand where you're coming from.
Well, what if their taste doesn't jive with yours at all? How does an interior designer go about designing something that they would never have in their own home?
That's right.
Yeah, and I think that there's a big divide among interior designers in terms of this question. And I think some people believe that you should just do it anyway. You should accept the project and do what they want. And I tend to, if I feel that I'm totally different than my clients, I tend to suggest other designers for them to go to that I think share their aesthetic. But I mean, otherwise, I mean, I think that you just work with them and you try and bring the project to a middle ground.
That's admirable, because at the end of the day, it's your name is stamped to what you did. And if someone comes to your home and this is complete rubbish, who did it? Oh, it was Christopher.
Yeah,
and next thing you know what I mean, and that the trend continues.
What's
so
the biggest mistake people made?
Well, I think hands down the biggest mistake people make are rug sizes. I think,
Talk to me about that, because I'm having a rug issue right now in my living room.
A rug's a rug, right?
well, no. And I think that, the actual size of the rug is probably one of the most important thing. I would say you're better off buying a larger rug from Crate and Barrel and making it, I think a sisal carpet or something like that, as opposed to getting a smaller, expensive rug, because it's just it looks plumped. It's like this little island in the middle of the room, and it makes everything else.
Where can I get a big?
floaty.
Where can I? Almost swore. Where can I get a big honkin' rug? Because I need I was gonna say it. Can I say that? Where can I get a big ass rug? I need a big one.
I know the producer.
Crate and Barrel actually is probably one of the best, and they're so inexpensive. Otherwise, there's also Georgetown Floor Coverings, which is a carpet company, and they will come out and measure and actually make it right there to fit your space.
Well, you've worked with a lot of kind of eco fabrics, and you do a lot of eco-friendly design. Where can we find eco-friendly rugs? Do they make those too?
Oh, definitely. And I think, again, I think it's natural fiber. It's core, sisal, and those materials. Also, they've got a lot of plastics, surprisingly enough, that look like, silk. I mean, it's really amazing.
Really?
Plastic looks like silk?
Yeah.
We'll never
It's
buy
like a
silk
rug,
again.
Yeah, exactly.
What are the colors that we should be looking for when we're decorating our houses or redecorating?
I think you should decorate like this.
This is a look. I know this is a stretch, but it's spring and I'm desperate.
No. I mean, I think
So bad we need color in my life.
Just spring.
no. I think that you should stick to colors that you actually like. I mean, I think that everyone says, oh, this color's big now, that color's big now. I mean, all colors are big at all times. It depends on where you live and what you like. And I mean, if you have a traditional house, there are a set of colors that tend to work in traditional homes. If you like modern, things tend to be white, and maybe you have a splash of color here and there. But I would just stick to something you like, and that way you'll have it for a long time. And I think that's the best way to be eco-friendly, is to buy things that you're going to have for a long time.
Well, we're into color, and we're finally getting into spring. So thank you for joining us and telling us about some trends. And we're going to have to dig into the dish on those royal houses. If you want to hear some more about things going on in the district, make sure to check us out here on the District Dish. And if you're looking for an interior designer, make sure to check out Christopher Boutlier.